We'll start right off with rounds of Uddiyana. So with the feet active, we'll inhale, expanding the ribs. And feel the ribs that connect to the spines of the back. Feel that they move also. And straight away, place hands on the ground, swift, thorough exhalation. Remain empty. Lower chin. And draw the belly back. Relax the belly. Come upright. Inhale till you feel really full. Pause, just wait a moment, and find out if there's a little more inhale still to go. And just a simple nasal Ujjayi exhale. Okay. So, and we're going to do this side by side. So it'll be a round of Uddiyana, and then a round of very, very full inhalation. I'll talk us through the whole thing again. Inhale till you feel generally full. Now straight away bring the hands to the ground, exhale everything out. Remain empty. Draw the belly back. Go slowly and go carefully. We go slowly to offset or delay any of that sudden onset gasp. Relax the belly and breathe before you gasp. Come upright. Now here's that other really large inhalation breath. So in Ujjayi, inhale till you feel rather full. Pause, linger just a moment. Inhale more. Sometimes there's about 5% or 20% more inhalation, and then just simply exhale it out the nostrils. This is Ujjayi, it's like slowly letting the air out of the tire. Still in Ujjayi. And just find out if this is helping reshape the breath, if you will. We'll do one final series. Inhale till you feel adequately full. Straight away, hands to ground. Exhale everything out. Remain empty. Lower the chin. Draw the belly in. Draw from the perineum. So we're reaching our feeling awareness to the pelvic floor, the low belly, above and behind the pubic bone. Relax to take a breath, come upright. And here's that secondary. So when you're ready to inhale again, inhale, expand the ribs. Reaching that peak of inhalation. Just hold it for a moment. So wait for it. If there's an urge or a capacity to inhale some more, then begin that secondary inhalation. Exhaling it out. Resume your Ujjayi breath, but do feel if each breath has some more volume or has a different shape to it. Let's set the legs out in straddle. We're working side bend from straddle. So right hand to the inside of right leg. Inhaling, pick the left hand up away from the left sit bones. I'm kind of reaching down through that left side. Exhaling, lengthening that navel away from the sit bones. And for these side bend moments in straddle, if you can feel your pubic bones and your navel, let's work right in through this lower part of our waist. Connect your breath right into this left side, this low abdomen, left side sacrum. Feeling that sit bone connect to ground. And as you exhale, can you feel the navel lengthening away from the sit bone? Bring the left hand down to the ground, somewhat beside your right leg. Now, how you position your hands has a bit to do with how you're feeling in your sacrum and your back. If I put my hands on either side of my right leg and continue to fold over my right leg, I'll get a little more stretch through the left side than the right. And if that's bothersome for whatever reason, you just have to move your hands a bit more centrally until it feels right. Right means no pain. Just letting the breath do the work from underneath the sacrum, from inside the waist and the pelvis. And inhale, walk the hands back toward your trunk and centrally. Let's do the other side, please. Side bend to start. Inhale as the right arm reach up, right sit bone sinks down. Now I maintain that connection through the side bend. Because as I exhale and reach to my left, there can be that tendency to feel that sit bone kind of float and lift off the ground. I'm going to keep that plugged in. Using your low belly muscles to exhale not only will prepare us for a few moments from now, but as you work with that area dynamically, you'll feel how exhalation can really be a part of the softening, the relaxing, the massaging of all of these tissues that connect around through this hip, this low back. This is a very dense crossroads. Okay. There's many, many, many connections that come from all over the body, and this is kind of a meeting place for all that directional structure. And so just feeding it some really sweet breaths. Okay. So we're moving into a fold. I'm bringing right hand down, hands on either side of left leg. If that's a little too much on your sacrum or your low back tissue, just walk the hands more centrally. Well, something I notice, and you might be noticing as well, is when we start to stack our practices, where there's more frequency or more consecutive frequency, it's almost like entering in and feeling the body start to reveal and unwind and expand and open. It's almost like these processes start to happen more effortlessly, rapidly. Let's inhale, backing the hands up toward the torso. Help the legs together. Let's lie on back. Elbow to knee. Inhale, head and shoulders off the ground. Curl tailbone. Now exhaling as you straighten the right leg out. Bring that right armpit a little bit closer to your left hip bone. It's almost like cinching them toward one another, and then pull the low belly down. Inhale, bend the right knee. Curl tailbone, exhale, left leg reaches, and actively cinch that left armpit closer to your right hip bone. Pull low belly down. Inhale, come back centrally. Curl tailbone, exhale, right leg straightens. Bring the right armpit, like you're contracting, shortening its distance to the left hip bone. Pull low belly down. Inhale. Curl tailbone, exhale, cinch left armpit closer to right hip bone. Pull low belly down. All right, inhale, come back centrally. Let's do 3 more on each side. This cue of cinching the armpit toward that diagonal hip, that really has can have the same effect as just bringing the elbows toward the bent leg. But I want you to activate that contraction. It doesn't mean crunch harder. It doesn't mean round your spine more. But can you feel a quality of contraction, like bringing the front of the body? It's like a little shrink wrap, just a temporary shrink wrap. So I am moving my elbows toward the bent leg, but more than the elbows, I'm feeling the armpit to hip, almost like a seat belt. Seat belt of voluntary contraction. When I create these voluntary contractions, it also has that side benefit of, because I'm contracting, and contractions give off a lot of heat, I'll start to feel a little warmer. All right. We'll go right into straddle. Bring the legs up and separate them apart. Inhale the head and shoulders off the ground by shortening that distance from the top of your sternum to the pubic bone. So right in here. Exhale, curl the tailbone toward the sternum. Reach out through the legs, pull low belly down. Inhale, softening that front line contraction just a little bit. And then exhaling, voluntary contraction. Sternum kind of contracts toward the pubic bone. Reach out through the legs. Pull low belly down. And then inhale, feel that line segment kind of lengthen, like it's unfurling a little bit. Exhale, feel the front of the body slightly shorten. Reach out through the legs. So yes, we are compressing tissues. We're compressing a little bit those organs. Pull low belly down. Let's do 3 more of these straddle abdominals. But when I kind of compress the front of my body, feel what's happening on the back side of your body. Feel what's happening through your spine as you involve this front of body, like shrink wrap contraction. It's right in here. So I'm really not moving or curling more. I'm not rounding my spine. I'm just involving contraction through the front of body. when we're through with that, we'll help the legs together. And we'll be setting up for bridge. Natalia, if you would rather do lying spinal twist, that's fine by me. If you want to do chest opener on the wall, that'd be another appropriate counterpart to this. Okay, so if you don't want to do bridge, there's a couple other ways. Yeah, all right. So I'll set feet up, hip width apart for bridge. Fingertips graze the heels. Now inhaling from abdomen all the way up through chest, now stretching and expanding that front line of the body. Exhale, shift the tailbone toward the sky, the buttock lifts, the spine lifts, and we enter bridge. Sliding that block under sacrum for additional support. Now, breathing into your torso, your core. Can you feel that front of body? Again, roughly from pubic bones to the very top of your sternum. Can you feel that line arcing and expanding? So I kind of alluded to this yesterday if we got to play together. Sometimes it's really helpful to go into a contraction before backstepping from a contraction, right? Sometimes by going into a contraction, we can actually feel the precise way that the mind has kind of rumpled in or turned in and defended, or we can feel the exact nature of that instrument of protection or contraction or restriction. I think that can give us a lot of information that helps us respect all of those protective mechanisms. Reach thigh bones, Vijay, reach thigh bones forward and get that 2-for-1 effect. Double your pleasure, double your front line elongation. So I press those feet actively into ground, inhaling the chest away from the block, and I exhale my thigh bones away from block. And to tell you, if you've done both sides, we're going to do one more thing here in bridge. You can do a lying forward fold, bringing both of your straight legs toward your chest. So just continue until you feel complete with that. All right, here we go, bridge people. Left foot really grounded. Inhale, pick the right knee toward the chest, foot off ground. Exhale, raise that right leg toward the sky. So legs doing two things. Left leg reaching forward. Right leg lifting up, moving toward ear. Yeah, keep that connection, Brett, to inner legs. So you're reaching your left inner leg forward, and you're bringing your right inner leg toward your right ear. There you go. Yeah, it just looks like you feel steadier. If you like additional challenge, press and lift in a way that actually helps you remain light on the block. Let's switch sides, bring the right foot down. And when that feels super grounded, inhale, pressing right foot down, raise left leg skyward. Yeah, right there, Natalia, right there. You can just keep that whole neck, head, neck, spine, like on ground like so. And you can straighten the legs if you want. And draw straightened legs toward chest. There you go. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good. And it gives me a visual of a few things going on. Cool. And inhale, bridge people. Let's set that left foot down. Remove the block from underneath sacrum, and we lower down out of sacrum. All right, when we turn onto a side, we'll press to elbows, knees. Just doing a little study today, front side, back side. So when we set up for dolphin, again, we're kind of going back to contracting the front side of the body. So when you have your elbows and your forearms down, can you kind of pinch the ground with your elbows? That turns on the pecs. Can you recreate that front line contraction where the top of the sternum cinches toward the pubic bones? And maybe it's here where you feel how that broadens the upper back. On your next exhalation, we'll press the knees off the ground. Now, is it possible to maintain the contraction of the front of the body, the chest muscles, and that kind of cinching from sternum to pubic bone, for the effect of diverting breath into the back of the ribs? Can we use that front contraction, almost like squeezing toothpaste from the tube, to bring our awareness into the back of our body, the back of our shoulders, the back of our chest, the back of the heart, the back and the sides of the diaphragm. Good. So option 1 is remain right here. Option 2 is step your feet about 1 inch closer to your chest muscles. And option 3 is stepping your feet forward 1 more inch. And gently set the knees down. When we press up, we'll work a simple twist on the wall. I'll just show you. It's a little bit of a squat, and I'm using the hands on the wall to turn the chest toward the wall, but also as I pull, I get a little chest opener. Okay? So if you have a section of something solid you can find, let's go there. Have the feet close together or touching. Standing about a foot, foot and a half from the wall. And I'm hooking elbow over thigh. So this squatting twist has my arm, my forearm, wedged between my thigh and the wall. Hands shoulder width apart. And inhale into that quadrant of your chest that feels most exposed, most kind of on stretch, if you will. And find out if that chest area kind of softens, almost blossoms open. It's a very soft move. When we release, turn 180 degrees, other side. Elbow over thigh, hands about shoulder width. I'm reaching the sit bones back, pulling the chest bones forward. And inhale, unwind. When we stand, let's come back to our mat. We'll stand at the top 4 suns. Inhale, draw the arms up, bending knees, chair pose. Exhale, fold forward, neck relaxed. Monkey. Inhale, move the collar away from the lap. Use hands. You can push on the shins, or you can pull on the ground. Set the hands down. Exhale, we'll step back, and let's lower from plank to ground. All the way down. Cobra. Hands forward, inhale, begin that pulling action, that lengthened sternum away from navel. Now let's remain here just an extra breath or so. Push the ground, introducing that articulation and that broadening through the front of the chest. Exhale, lower down, downward dog. We'll go over that motion a couple of times. Inhale the right foot forward, warrior 2. Bring elbows to ribs, palms up. Okay. So there's this little action that can be helpful in that cobra as a chest opening move. oftentimes I'll observe that Cobra is used just to get a few little sections of the low or the mid back kind of lifting or moving, but it's really a whole spine movement. Okay, so we're going to get kind of exaggerated here. Inhale your ribs into your arm bones. I want you to pull, almost like tuck those elbows back a little bit. Let's see, like just a bit, like an inch, like stick them back. Now exhale as you're sticking those elbows back, pinch in, and just slightly pull those thumbs apart. It's not a big deal move, but just an inch. Okay, let's let it go. I'll talk through it again. Inhale the ribs into the arms. I just kind of scooch those elbows backward an inch. Exhale, pinch them in. Now pull the thumbs apart 1 inch, just 1 inch. Only 1 inch. Not 1 foot, 1 inch. I really mean 1 inch. Let's release, inhale into the armpits. So I'm not looking for maximal forearm movement. Kind of slink those elbows back an inch, squeeze, exhaling, pull the thumbs apart 1 inch. Just 1 inch. I really mean that, only 1 inch, not 6. Okay. Because I want us to focus on the contraction in the shoulder more so than the motion of the arms. It's really easy to cheat the contraction by moving the arms a lot. All right. Inhale, let's set the hands down on either side of the right foot. Exhale, step back, right foot into plank, pause in plank, pause in plank. Now push the ground. Inhale into the back of the heart. So the back of the ribs lifts up slightly. And now exhale, pull the shoulders away from the ears. Right about where my elbows start coming near my ribs, I'm pulling apart, pulling apart, pulling apart. Yeah? And here again, bring the hands forward. Inhale, Cobra, pull those elbows back. Now the hands don't move, but just slightly pull the hands, the thumbs apart. It's isometric. It's effort that doesn't move us. Exhale, lower down, downward dog. Inhale, left foot forward, warrior 2, bird wing. I'm just trying to describe our way through these chaturangas and these cobras. Hopefully it helps those shoulders feel like they're really helping. Inhale, ribs into arms. My palms are up. Exhale, cinch the elbows toward the ribs, slide them back about 1 inch, and pull the thumbs apart 1 inch. Focus on the contraction. Make a volitional, voluntary contraction in the back of the armpit that has that express kind of byproduct of opening up the front of the chest. We'll do it twice more. So let's do those on our own. Now, some of you, if you've had some rotator cuff injuries or tears or surgeries, these squeezes and these motions may feel very different from side to side. That's not uncommon at all. Inhale, we'll let that go, setting the hands down on either side of your left foot. Exhaling, step back into plank, maintain plank, remain right there. And as you inhale, push the ground so the back of the heart lifts up. This is that wrapping the shoulders. Exhaling, pull the shoulders down. My hands are tearing the mat apart as my ribs pass by my elbows. Hands forward for Cobra. Inhale, tearing the mat apart, pulling the elbows toward the back of the mat. Find out if that gets you into that chest or that upper back differently. That's it, Vijay. Exhale, lower down, downward dog. Triangle. Inhale, right foot forward. Now, as I'm setting up triangle, have in mind that I may want to use a block in a moment. So triangle, I've thrown the block up front. Exhale, right hand reach forward. Set that right hand down on the leg, raise the left. Just to give those armpit muscles a bit of relief. Inhaling into the width of your shoulders from armpit to armpit. And exhale, press hands apart. So now the shoulder, the joint, all those muscles that have been squeezing can now kind of start to move out of those contractions. So using these moments to feel the body move from those contracted moments to perhaps softer or more expanded bodily moments. Thing is when we learn precisely how our body moved into restriction or contraction, that can be the roadmap out of that contraction. Like it is, the tracks it lays is the roadmap both in and out. Bring the left hand down to the left hip as we set up for half moon. Bend right knee. Inhaling, right hand down to, I've got my block here. And we're picking that left heel up hip height. Now, if you like putting your left foot on a wall, I support you. If you need to see that, I'll do it with you. Sometimes it just takes a little bit of fiddling to get the foot properly spaced onto the wall. But it's nice if you're working with some sacral stuff to there you go. And if you are using the wall, as you're sticking that foot into the wall, use your inner legs, pull the wall down. So your left inner leg is actually lifting you up off of your right thigh bone. It's a good use of our inner leg. Even if your leg's in the air, you can imaginarily work that same movement. As if you're pulling your left thigh down on a solid object and lifting out of that right hip. Inhaling, let's set that left foot down to the floor. We'll bring the hands down to the ground. Exhale, step the right foot back, remain in plank. Cinch up the inner legs. Inhale, push the earth. Ribs lift away from the ground. Exhale, pull the mat apart as the ribs pass by the elbows. Cobra. Inhale, pull the mat apart as you pull the elbows back and the chest forward. Exhale, lower down, downward dog. Triangle. Inhale the left foot forward. Triangle's a straight-legged pose, left hand on left thigh. Right arm reaches skyward. Okay. So as I press out that right leg, you may feel how that gets into that lower part of the waist. All those crossroads, those fascial crossroads meet. Right in through here. And as I activate that right butt, that glute, these crossroads may start to kind of pull, tug in some interesting, cool ways. And just as we were doing this motion to pull the hands apart, using those armpit muscles, some of you may feel comfortable exploring how the legs can pull the mat apart. And just do that very patiently, because you may get some unexpected contractions around the back side. Half moon. Let's bring the right hand down to the hip. Bend left knee. Inhaling the left hand down. Ground or block. Raising right heel. Exhale. Foot active. Feet active. So without moving my right leg, without lowering it, you can imagine as if that right inner leg is pulling down on a very firm object, like a countertop. And as you pull that inner right leg down atop this very solid ledge, lift. That's it, Marissa, that's it. It's just a fun other way to play and feel inside these legs. And it can provide a lot of relief to sacrum. Inhale, place the right foot down to the ground. Exhaling, hands to ground. Left foot step back. Pause in plank. As I push the ground, I'm wrapping the shoulders. Inhale, back of heart. Right up between the shoulder blades. Exhale, pull the elbows toward the back of the mat. My toes have to work. I have to grab the ground with my toes, lighting up that whole front side of my body. Hands forward for Cobra. Inhale, pull the mat apart, but send the elbows straight back. Exhale, lower, downward dog. Inhaling, step both feet forward, monkey. Use the hands to move chest away from lap. Exhale, fold. Chair, bending knees, inhale, reach the arms up. Tailbones shift slightly down. Stand, exhale, hands to heart. All right, please, let's have a seat. Knee pile. I've got right knee over left. Inhale, arms out to the side for eagle. Exhale, left over right. If your right foot has a pretty good hook, like it's grippy hooked on your mat, activate that foot so you're actually pulling, you can actually cinch and snuggle into your knee pile with a little more zest, only if you like zest. So I'm grabbing the ground with the outer edge of my foot and kind of pressing the heels out, and I can really like help cinch up or help me feel the outer hips a great deal more. It might feel better on the knees. And inhale, let's unwind the arms, and we'll unwind the legs. Shoelace left over right. Inhale, arms out to side. Eagle will be right elbow over left. The outer edges of your feet are on the ground, kind of, it's almost like you're using that ground, pulling the heels further to the sides of your body. Inhale, let's unwind the arms, unwind the legs. Let's lie back for Shavasana, please. How does your breath and your feeling distribute between the front half of the body and the back half of the body? This is an arbitrary designation, but at least when we draw a line on the paper, so to speak, it gives us some reference points to start to notice, observe, compare. When you're ready, let's bend knees. Let's turn to our left side this time. Use both hands, press to seated. Thanks all. Namaste.